Guys, good morning. Bitcoin with Dinny, it's Dinny here. Life is good. I'm out for a walk up the estuary with the dogs. Got a bag of shit in my hands. There are no complaints. This is optimal life. For me anyway. This morning was darkest into light. And it's a day of hope today. It's a day of reflection for a lot of people. And I just want to share a little bit of an insight into my experiences over the last couple of years, both personally and through my business. My initial business was fitness, and I suppose I'll cut to the chase. Bitcoin is hope, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that for anyone who's an altcoin or into crypto or not sure about this space. I'll go into that in a second. But I started off in the fitness industry, and fitness is sort of health and fitness. And what I came across was that the stigma with mental health was crazy. And I openly used to talk about it. This is back in the days when no one used to do lives, only me, like we're talking, I don't know, probably nearly 10 years ago now. And I'd be openly talking about mental health and how, lads, I was struggling, and I went to see a doctor. About 10 years ago, I was really in a bad place with my mental health. I think from doing all the extreme sports like road racing and everything, then just normal life was just boring. You didn't have the exhilaration of having to say prayers every weekend to in case you died during the race, like, because road racing's extreme, like, and Jesus, back then in the days, there was someone getting carted off in a fucking coffin nearly every weekend. But it was ultimate buzz from, when you're doing it. Now when you go back to normal life, it's just like, yeah, it's very boring. I'm very unfulfilled here. So I went to see a guy called Harry Barry. I think I've seen Harry twice. Amazing, just talking to someone. Totally changed everything. And started to meditate. I understood how to look after my physical body, but I didn't really understand how to look after the mental side of things and the spiritual side of things. I was ignoring them, and it was only when I realised, okay, health is about mental, physical and spiritual, and you got to balance all them for health. You can't just look amazing with a six-pack abs and be really strong and think that that's healthy, because health is how you feel as well as how you look, and it's more important than how you feel than how you look, I think. So I openly sort of discussed that. So then I sort of always got a reputation for someone who was open to chatting to people, and people would reach out to me when they weren't feeling good, and I'd sort of give them a bit of advice and point them in the right direction. And I saw that through it was a lot through the fitness industry, because that's so vain that a lot of the fitness people, professionals who are in amazing shape, are actually not in good shape in their head, and they're really struggling. And because they've built up this physique, and I had a lot of experience with people, and they were on steroids and stuff, and these would be my competitors in business, and here I am doing fucking helping them try and get their shit together. But all that stuff screws you up. Okay, now working, like, I still have fitness businesses, but working now in the consulting business in Bitcoin, what I see is there's many worries that we have, and money is unfortunately one of them. Okay, and I've seen money worries absolutely destroy people to the extent, okay? And when we learn about Bitcoin, it's not that Bitcoin's going to make you rich tomorrow. It's what it does for your mental health, you see. And I'm just going to give you a little tip about how you feel good. How you feel good is to hang around other people who feel good. Positive people. If all your friends are negative, well, guess what? The chances are you're not going to feel great, lads. It's not rocket science, all right? And that was one of the first things I learned, that I had to sort of distance myself to people in my life who are negative, and we're going back a long time, and try and make connections with people who are super positive, people who left me feeling good, and have positive networks. And because your mind just gets saturated with whatever you're immersed in, okay? And that's my first thing. What I find about people who go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, most people who've done the work on it, okay, they are really positive, okay? Because Bitcoin is hope. That's what one of the smartest men in the world says. He says Bitcoin is hope. If you go to hope.com, it's a whole Bitcoin resource website. Free courses, loads of information, loads of knowledge. Because Bitcoin gives people hope for a better future. Now, all we have is the present moment, okay? You don't have the future, you don't have the past. All you have is the present moment, and that's it, okay? So if you can influence the present moment with how you feel, and if hope makes that happen for you, well, then you're winning. And that's why, as I say to people, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin is a success in 10 years, okay? can't see how that happens with all the thousands of hours of research I've done. Okay, but just take that situation. It doesn't matter. The same way it doesn't matter if we blow up the planet with nukes in 10 years. It really doesn't matter today. Today all that matters is that I feel good. Okay, I'm being part of the Bitcoin community, being associated with people who are willing to take responsibility and not just, complain about the situation. We're actively doing something to improve our situation. Okay, we're actually building in this space. It's improving the positive. It's improving the present moment that you have, and that's all we have, because you don't know if you're going to get a future moment. None of us know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. And for me being in the health and fitness rabbit hole and going to internships and workshops all over the world and seeing the bad sides of health, I can tell you, lads, shit comes out of nowhere. And it doesn't matter how healthy you are and how much blueberries you eat, shit just comes out of nowhere. So we really just have the present moment, and that's why getting involved in something like Bitcoin, where you understand that this is a positive force, this is giving power to people, this is, and it's kind of like, there's irony, because everything that you'll hear in the mainstream is Bitcoin bad, but when you actually do the work for yourself, you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, if every human knew what I knew, the world would be a totally different world, because we'd all just transition to this thing, and the monopoly that the few have on money would be gone, and the world would work better. The free markets would actually flow again, rather than what we have at the moment, which is just heavily manipulated free markets. The markets have been controlled by such a select few now. We have centralised power, and this is about decentralising, where we're all equals, because we are all equals. Okay, the market mightn't say that. All right, who deserves the most? Like the school teacher or the central banker? Why should a central banker get paid 1,000 times more than the school teacher? Like, who's doing better? What about the person who's baking healthy food? What are they worth? Well, the market says they're worth screw all, but the politician, he's worth loads, and he can bleed the system for himself. And don't get me started on it. Alright, but when you go into Bitcoin and you realise that this fixes all that nonsense that is like a cloud, and you're going like, man, the world, when you're naive and young, and then when you get a little bit older, you start learning about how the world actually functions and how money functions, and you realise the scam that it is, and then you're like, this breaks that scam. This is going to free humanity. This is like the Renaissance. Okay, we're going to have a Renaissance in the next 20 years, and please God, I get to live through a bit of that and see it. But it's so exciting, like, because the more you learn, you realise it's inevitable. It can't. When you realise that the existing system can't continue, it has to fail. I don't know when, but it has to. And that's why this new emergent system is being built alongside it. Okay, there is no fix for the existing system. This is just, and this is like, this is happening in the history over and over and over again. The power is centralised, boom, decentralised the fuck, and then it trends back to centralisation. But never before had we had a tool that gave so much power to the individual, that I think might be the permanent change, that we decentralise the power for good. So it's really exciting, and it's kind of cool, and it's not even for the monetary aspect that I'm so excited about and interested in. I have enough money. I don't need any more money. Money doesn't make me any happier. When I had no money, I was just as happy as now that I have money that I can do anything. Okay? So it's not about the money. It's more about just watching the journey and being excited to meet people in the space and network with people. And as well as that, not even just me. Okay? I don't know if I get it every week, but I've got a lot of them. Instagrams, Facebooks. I probably do get it if you calculate them all up. Phone calls of people who say, Dinny, for instance, getting into space, it's just been amazing. I just want to thank you. Just doing that consultation, it's opened my eyes out. I have a lot more hope for the future. I don't have the worries. I feel much more positive. I was in a negative place. Or even just people who generically watch my content and haven't even done anything with me. Fell out fishing. Who haven't even done any of our courses or any consulting with me, just like, Dinny, thanks for pushing out all that info. I've been down the rabbit hole and I feel a lot more positive about this thing. I feel I'm setting this up for my kids, I'm setting this up for my family. I think I've got, it gives people hope for the present moment, basically, which is really exciting. And for anyone out there who's struggling with their mental health because of financial issues, my advice is just work on yourself. Your mental health is just like your physical health, and if we ignore it, it goes downhill. and everything can be fixed. That was the one thing that Harry told me, and that always stuck with me, that, you know, no matter how bad you feel, it goes away. It's like, you can feel terrible, but like, it's not going to stay like that forever, so it goes away. And the more you, it's like, I'm into a bit of gardening now, but the more work you do on it, the more you get. You let the chickens out. Okay, chickens are out, love. The more work you put into it, the better it gets, and it gets enjoyable then. You know, like, and this is the thing, getting out in nature, one of the best things that you can do for your mental health is just green space. Sort of on your own is even better. Well, no, I don't know if on your own, probably your company is good, but I like a bit of alone time. You know, things like that, things like cold exposure. That's why I do these things. I don't get in the sea because I enjoy it. Well, I do enjoy it, sort of after it. But you know, it's cold, it's horrible. But you got to do the hard things, and that's where the good stuff comes from. Exercising, go to the gym, boom. Walking every day, boom. Having the crack, having fun. You know, not taking yourself too seriously, boom. Meditation for me is a good one. It's not for everyone, but like, I think meditation is really good for mental health. I enjoy it. And that's the crack, but you know, don't be worrying about shit. I've lived in a mobile home with a broken back, lads, alright? And I suppose that's why I don't worry about shit, because I'm like, I can't get any worse than that. Well, I could, but like, you just be living on the street, and sure, we deal with that if you ever had to do it. But you know, once you can get out there and walk off the crack, you really have to. Can't really talk about it, because if you're struggling with mental health, none of the stuff goes in, so it won't really bother. But all I'll just say is, have a super day, guys. Today is about hope. Bitcoin is hope. Hope you learn about it. Don't worry, you don't learn it all in one day. Dollar cost averaging is the simplest and easiest strategy that everyone can use, and that just means buying some Bitcoin every week, or buying some Bitcoin every month. And just forget about it. Just a small amount, whatever you want to buy, and just accumulate it. Forget about the price. Buy it for 5 years' time if you're lucky enough to get there. Buy it for 10 years' time if you're lucky enough to get there. Okay? But the more you learn about Bitcoin, rather than owning Bitcoin, the more you learn about Bitcoin, the more of a positive effect it has in your life. And the more you network in this space, you meet other people. Yeah, there's nutters in this space. Of course there is, sure, I'm one of them. But there's some amazing people in this space. You know, and a lot of people in this space aren't doing this for themselves. They're doing it for their kids. You know, it's selfless. But, and it's nice to get around those people. And, you know, network with them. And that's why I say, come to Bitcoin Ireland 2023. Definitely come to that. That's going to be amazing crack. But anyway, I'll sign off here now. It's just a bit of a waffle this morning. Have a super day, guys. Dinny out. James is off to Gran Canaria for his mental health. Fair play, man. Enjoy that. Sounds awesome. Let me know who else is on there, guys. Give me a comment if you're catching recording. And hope you have a super Saturday. Dinny out. Check that out. Look at that! Little wee muck. Funny muck, Dinny.